He's an expert at barbecuing and eating the barbecue.
Yes.
But I think he still works it off, right, Mike?
You look good, my friend.
Thank you. How y'all doing?
We're
Fantastic.
good. What are you making us?
Well, we're making some fajitas this morning. I've also got some Opa sausage from Fredericksburg. I love that sausage. And more importantly, I've got Paul Grecco.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
How you doing, buddy?
This is the best part of the entire day, right? Is we come out here, get to cook some food, eat, and talk football.
Talk football. All right, let's talk a little bit of football. We're going to do a little different version of Paul Grecco. No 50 Shades of nothing.
What?
We're going to talk straight up football.
Okay.
Let's start with the Cowboys. So far in the season, up from where you thought or about where you thought they'd be?
I think we're right where we want to be right now. If you take a look at what they were able to do last week against the Rams, you know, DeMarco Murray was one of the guys that we didn't like going in. But if you take a look at DeMarco Murray's rushing yards against the Rams, he averages over 200 yards per game against the Rams.
That's crazy, isn't
and less than 60 yards against the rest of the football league. And so, you know, they need him to step up right now. But what's been interesting and fun to watch is how well this defense is playing right now.
Yeah, I know. The defense is playing real good. They've got everybody healthy.
Right.
I mean, I don't think people understand. They blame everything on Romo.
Oh, yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, for the last 3 or 4 years, they have gotten decimated defensively. They have gotten decimated offensive line-wise. And remember, there was about 4 or 5 games the second half of last season where Romo's throwing 50 passes a game because they don't have a running back. Murray's out. They have nobody to back him up. So that's going to put the pressure on the quarterback a lot.
Yeah, I think so. And I think with the pressure that comes for Romo, I think what we've been able to see so far is him succeed. And now we have the shredded cheese hamstring of Miles Austin, again, going down with an injury. But, you know, from a defensive side, it's great to see a guy like Sean Lee come back. And he's been the difference maker. He plugs up a big hole, and it was great to see Ware get in. I mean, the sacks right now are huge for the Dallas Cowboys. That's what's really keeping them in the game.
Yes. Okay. 30 seconds, your fantasy football expert. If you had to pick one player from the Cowboys, offensively, defensively, who would it be?
This week, I'm going with Jason Witten. I love Jason Witten this week. I think it'll exploit the matchup against the Chargers this week. Jason Witten guaranteed to get yourself a touchdown.
Okay, so don't go away. Paul and I are going to be talking Texans here coming up in the next segment. How'd you like the
fees are fantastic. This is the best part of the job right here.
All right, we're going to send it back into you guys. Ladies, I've got some for you.
Mike?
Oh.
Thank you,
I'm
Mike.
sneaking in after the show, I promise.
We're going to need to exercise after we eat those. Good morning. Welcome back, everyone. Well, what is better than just one guy talking about football? Well, 2 guys, of course, handsome ones.
And we're heading out to Mike's Man Cave where he's joined with a very special guest.
Hey, good morning, ladies. Again, we're still out here at the Man Cave, and I'm with Paul Grecco, and we're talking a little bit different. We're not going to do the 50 Shades like you guys do, all that crazy stuff.
What?
We're talking straight up football, right?
Right, yeah.
All right, so we talked about the Cowboys earlier. Let's talk about the Texans.
Sure.
Okay. They are also 2-1.
Right.
What do you think? How are they doing? Are they where they should be?
Well, as far as where they should be, 2-1 obviously is better than 1-2, right? I mean, but the fact of the matter is, this offense hasn't looked as good, especially on the ground. I mean, we haven't seen, you know, the ground and pound that we've seen in the past. Right. And it might be the fact that, you know, they've overutilized those guys in the past and their body's just taking a tremendous pounding. But It was great to see Andre Johnson come back from the concussion last week, had a decent game. But again, it really surrounds Matt Schaub and the defense. If both of those can withstand, especially with the schedule they have coming up, Seahawks this week, 49ers next week. I mean, that's a tough road ahead. You got to be able to handle that.
Yeah, and I don't know the way they're playing right now. I know it's early in the season, but it just doesn't seem like they're in sync yet going against those 2 teams, especially the Seahawks. You know, they may be stepping in some landmines here pretty quick. Yeah,
so you can't really sit there and mess around when you're playing the Seahawks. This is a team that has shown, especially under Pete Carroll, defense is the way it's going to go. I mean, if offensively they can't stop, you know, Marshawn Lynch, Skittles, it's going to be tough. I mean, this is a team that has to be going on all cylinders this weekend. The good thing is they're playing at home and not in Seattle, which is very difficult to play in.
Okay, if you had to pick a player, fantasy team, who would you pick?
I'm going Matt Schaub again. I like what this offense is doing, especially with the fact that they can't run the ball very well right now. I'm going with Matt Schaub, and I look for them to win. I see a 23-17 win for the Houston Texans this week.
Okay, and we should remind you that we are airing, Fox is airing both of those teams this coming weekend.
Awesome.
It'll be the Cowboys in the second game playing the Chargers.
Yep.
And, of course, it'll be the Texans against Seattle in the early game. 2 great games.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun to watch. And, again, you know, if both of them come out with a victory, especially for the Dallas Cowboys, they have a big-time schedule coming up after they face the Chargers.
Okay, all right, so thanks a lot.
Yeah.
That's pros. Now, next time we're going to come back and we're going to talk some college ball. We're going to talk Longhorns and Aggies and my UTSA Roadrunner. So that's going to be the next segment. We're talking about that. Hey, you have been in the fantasy leagues, picks and all of that, in the drafts and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, we found some video we want to take you to break with. kind of the stereotypes. The guys, the guys, and you might recognize yourself or a friend in this video. Check it out.
How about them Cowboys? Tony Romo, first pick.
How's your fantasy team looking this year?
Miles Austin, Jason Witten, Des Bryant. Dude, we're stacked. Hey, Ty, good news? Hot dog's ready. Wait. Bad news? Beat you by 1 in fantasy this week. Your kicker missed a field goal. Yeah, you're terrible at fantasy. You're not! Are you kidding? Dude, I read it wrong. You beat me this week. I'm going to take Robert Griffin III.
That dude is always injury prone.
Mike.
Guys, what?
How's it going? Check
Hi,
it out.
Mike. Okay, wait. You've talked Cowboys. You've talked Texans. You have not talked college football, and I have not heard anything about the Texas Longhorns this morning.
All right, well, let's start with that. Good segue. Okay, Paul, so let's talk Longhorns. Let's talk a little college football now. What do you think about the Longhorns? 1-2. You know, they won last week, but still, they are not looking good.
Yeah, a lot of struggle, especially on the offensive side. We've seen what's happened so far with the defense, with the defensive coordinator getting fired 2 weeks ago. And it's not going to get any easier. They have an open date this weekend, which is great for them. But in 3 weeks, on October 12th, the Red River rivalry gets back in
Resumes, Oklahoma.
And if you don't win this game, especially getting your butt kicked the last 2 years.
Yeah, what did you say the scores were?
You're talking in the 60s to 17, 55 to 21. I mean, those are just not good scores. And if you're a UT fan right now, you have to hope that they can beat Oklahoma, because if they don't, Mac Brown and the regime is already under fire.
They need to go.
Yeah, without a doubt. But the problem is, though, is that he's got such a huge contract. I don't know if they could just force him out without him getting paid. So he's in a win-win situation.
Right. All right, let's shift gears and come local. UTSA Roadrunners, Division I, playing all Division I schools this year. They're 2-2. They are playing awesome.
Yeah, so far what we've seen is a very good flow on offense, and the defense is tackling machines. Everything seems very fundamental. We were talking off air. You talk about this coaching staff and what they've been able to do. They build a great foundation for UTSA. And if you want to know about a roadmap on how to build a program, right here with Larry Koch has done that.
No kidding. Great tackling, fundamental. They don't shoot themselves in the foot. Not a lot of penalties. They don't turn the ball over, all of that. I'm very, very proud of them. Of course, I love them anyway.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, so we can't talk football and Texas football without talking about Texas A&M. Johnny Football, what do you think?
Johnny Football, I think, has been fantastic. This is a kid that has the ability to go out there and be a game changer. But it's not just Johnny Football. You know, it's the entire team for Texas A&M, and they don't get a lot of credit. And I think that's why the coach has talked about, I don't want a camera just on Johnny Football. It's the entire team. But he makes things happen. When the offensive line breaks down or the running game isn't going, he allows the wide receivers to get themselves open. And we saw last week a jump pass. I mean, he just makes things happen.
He's an amazing athlete. Of course, his off-field antics, I think, are going to hurt him for the Heisman this year unless he just goes nuts again.
Sure.
But anyway, all right. Hey, listen, thank you so much, man.
It's been a pleasure. We're eating food, talking football.
You're welcome here anytime. Here, I got you a sausage one right here. Look at this. That's
sausage wrap?
That's got
Sweet.
jalapeno and cheese in it from Opas. I love that. All right, we're going to send it back in. You got a lot of food. Check it out right here. Travis, can you check this out?
Yum.
This is what you have waiting. This is for you. Well, for you and for everybody else.
Thanks, Mike.
Save me the jalapeno one.
I don't know if we're ever going to get Paul Grecco back in studio now that he's experienced the man cave.
It's over.
Ah,